Ever since they were first put into widespread use during the 1940s and 1950s by a variety of nations' armed forces, helicopters have proven to be a vital instrument in both times of war and peace. Helicopters play a major role in a wide variety of humanitarian and emergency operations, including the transport of troops and casualties, the delivery of disaster relief supplies, and the provision of airborne fire support. The technology that is utilized in helicopters has progressed to such a degree that it is now feasible to manufacture hybrid helicopter airplanes, advanced attack helicopters, and super heavy transport helicopters. The list is offered in chronological order, with the year of the first flight serving as the reference date. Therefore, you should settle down and buckle your seatbelts before we take you on a journey to meet these rotary-winged marvels of engineering and design. Number 7. Bell 1 Huey, year of manufacture, 1956. The term Huey is almost always associated with the military hardware that was used during the Vietnam War. Although it was only equipped with a single engine, the UH-1 helicopter's design was uncomplicated and practical. Despite this, it went on to earn a legendary status for the accomplishments it was responsible for. The primary weapon of the UH-1 was an M60 machine gun that could be mounted on either door and was controlled by a gunner to protect the pilots inside from enemy fire coming from the ground. During an engagement, the UH-1 could transport 10 to 14 soldiers at a time. The seats were reinforced, and the crew was provided body armor so that they would have an additional line of defense during potentially hazardous flights. This was done to provide the crew with an additional layer of protection. There have been over 16,000 of these adaptable machines produced, and the United States Marine Corps is still utilizing them in its UH-1I variant. Number 6. Boeing CH-47 Chinook. The next aircraft on our list is the Boeing CH-47 Chinook, a helicopter that was designed during the Vietnam War and continues to be used, albeit in a more updated form today. The CH-47 Chinook is distinguished by its singular tandem rotor design, which makes it possible to make the most efficient use of the power produced by the engines to lift the helicopter. Because there is no tail rotor, all of the power that is created goes to the main rotor. The Chinook was originally designed by Vertol, which had begun work in 1957 on a new tandem rotor helicopter, designated as the Vertol Model 107 or V107. Around the same time, the United States Department of the Army announced its intention to replace the piston engine-powered Sikorsky CH-37 Mogilev with a new gas turbine-powered helicopter. During June 1958, the U.S. Army ordered a small number of V107s from Vertol under the OH-1 designation. Following testing, some Army officials considered it to be too heavy for the assault missions and too light for transport purposes. Number 5. Sikorsky CH-53 Stallion. The Sikorsky CH-53 Stallion is the largest helicopter in the United States inventory. It was first produced and put into service in 1964. It has a payload capacity of more than 14,000 pounds, 6,350 kilograms, which means that it can transport the weight equivalent to 4 fully grown rhinoceroses. The original twin-engine form of the aircraft has this capacity. The United States military makes use of this helicopter for a variety of purposes, including the transportation of soldiers, the insertion of special forces, the evacuation of casualties, and the lifting of large vehicles such as trucks. In the event of an emergency, the CH-53 is outfitted with a watertight hull that enables it to land safely on water. This is because the CH-53 is generally employed for marine operations. The fact that the oldest versions were sent into service during the Vietnam War and the most recent variant will now commence production proves once again how durable American helicopter designs are. Number 4. AH-1 Bell Cobra. This is the AH-1 Bell, often known as the Cobra Bell. The UH-1 served as the foundation for the development of the armored helicopter known as the AH-1 Cobra in 1965. This helicopter's purpose was to perform the role of an armored helicopter that was able to fire guns, rockets, and missiles. It was a particularly effective platform for delivering aerial fire support due to its slim profile, tandem seating, and remarkable agility. In its early stages, the Cobra was outfitted with 7.62mm miniguns, 40mm grenade launchers, and rocket launchers. These weapons gave it the ability to eliminate hidden targets beneath the forest canopy. The AH-1 would have caused the Viet Cong to live in constant fear. Number 3. Sikorsky U-60 Blackhawk. The Blackhawk is a very adaptable helicopter that has developed into hundreds of versions throughout its history. One of these variants, the well-known Stealth Hawk, was the aircraft that was in charge of the well-known Operation Neptune Spear. The other significant derivative is the Navy AH-60 Seahawk, which serves as the mainstay of anti-submarine, anti-surface transport, and search and rescue operations for the United States Navy at the present day. The aircraft carriers and amphibious assault ships in the United States Navy each have a complement of numerous Seahawks. while the destroyers in their fleet carry a regular complement of to sea Oz. The AH-60 has a powerful surface search radar, dipping sonar, sonobuoys, and the capability to carry torpedoes, anti-ship missiles, and depth charges so that it may engage ships and submarines in battle. Both varieties have been successful on the global market, and they are both being used in over 20 different nations at the moment. Number 2. Boeing AH-64 Apache, year of manufacture, 1975. Widely regarded as the most cutting-edge attack helicopter currently in use, the Apache has been the workhorse of U.S. military ground operations for more than 3 decades. It was developed as a replacement for the AH-1 in the U.S. Army to make it more survivable on a hazardous battlefield. The Apache has armor that enables it to withstand hits from 23mm anti-aircraft guns and a self-sealing fuel tank that prevents fuel from leaking out in the event of an accident. Both of these features were added to the Apache. Hellfire is a brand name for anti-tank missiles. Behind the nose is a cannon that has a caliber of 30mm and can fire at a rate of 300 rounds per minute. The Apache can also be outfitted with Stinger missiles, which can take down several targets in a short amount of time in quick succession. The Apache continues to make strides further in the 21st century. The most recent variant, the AH-64 Guardian, has been outfitted with improved engines, the ability to remotely control drones, and a sensor that is intended to emphasize muzzle flashes on the battlefield below. On the battlefield, the Apache is a versatile weapon system that is capable of wreaking havoc and causing a lot of damage. The Apache was outfitted with a longbow radar in the late 1990s, which made it possible for the aircraft to engage targets from concealment without putting itself in danger of being discovered by the adversary. In addition, the Army has performed tests in which Apaches have been stationed on ships of the United States Navy. These Apaches have been tasked with conducting anti-ship missions and have even tested a laser-armed weapon as part of these studies. These trials have been carried out. Number 1. Bell Boeing V-22 Osprey, year of manufacture, 1989. The Osprey is the pinnacle of all transformative aircraft and has a design that appears to have been lifted from a science fiction film. When it is on the ground, it gives the impression of being a helicopter with side-by-side propellers, which is not particularly remarkable. However, it's not until a few seconds after it lifts from the ground like a regular helicopter that the magic begins to happen. The blades of the rotor start to tilt forward in unison with the wing, and just as your mouth drops open, the helicopter morphs into a plane with 2 sets of propellers. This technology utilizes transformers. The Osprey provides a significant advantage over conventional helicopters when it comes to transporting troops over hostile territory, bringing back injured personnel, carrying out disaster relief operations, and carrying out special forces insertion missions. It can move twice as quickly as a conventional helicopter while it is in airplane mode. Thank you so much for watching. Please share your ideas and outcomes in the comment box below. Don't forget to like this video if you found it helpful and subscribe to our channel for more incredible videos like this one.